All right, y'all. So apparently Chris Brown left a little snarky remark on the Instagram page of the organization that launched a petition to ban him from performing in South Africa. I think if he was more concerned about keeping his hands to himself than hopping on Instagram to be shady, then we wouldn't even be talking about bans and petitions to get him off the stage in the first place. Let's talk about it. All right, so first and foremost, before we get into anything, I just want to thank Lex over there for having me on his Batman Party remix. Make sure you get into it. The link to the song will be in my description. Had a lot of fun. This is like my first dance hall feature for real. So I'm just so happy to be included. There were a bunch of amazing artists who are also on the track. Make sure you check it out. Link in my description. All right, so Billboard says this: Chris Brown's headed to South Africa for a pair of concerts in December, but a women's rights advocacy group has launched a petition seeking to ban him from taking a stage due to his history of alleged abuse. Women for Change started a petition October 2nd on change.org that boasts more than 28,000. I think at this time that I'm recording it, it's at like beyond 35,000 signatures. And of course, they are hoping to stop Chris Brown, who pleaded guilty in 2009 to assaulting then girlfriend Rihanna. See, a lot of people turn their brains off when you bring up Rihanna because it's like, oh my goodness, it was in 2009. It was so long ago. But Chris Brown has been consistently abusing both men and women, like consistently since Rihanna. So I know a lot of people turn their brains automatically off as if Rihanna wasn't enough, right? Like as if that wasn't enough of a reason. But I would just like to say that he's been violent since then, like consistently violent since then. All right. So yeah, of course, they're trying to prevent him from performing in South Africa, which BBC reports has a long history of abuse and one of the highest rates of femicide and gender-based violence in the world. According to the petition, the group wants the promoters, the South African government, and organizers to reconsider allowing the artist to perform at Johannesburg's FNB Stadium in mid-December. His concert is scheduled just days after the global commemoration of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, making this event a direct insult to the millions of women and girls affected by violence in South Africa and worldwide. That's what the petition says. When I saw the news that Chris Brown was coming to South Africa, I was shocked and deeply disappointed, Women for Change Executive Director Sabrina Walter told the BBC. The petition was started to send a strong message that we will not tolerate the celebration of individuals with a history of violence against women. She continued, when someone like Chris Brown is given a platform in a country where GBV is at crisis levels, it sends a damaging message that fame and power outweigh accountability. Okay, real quick, I'm gonna switch to the actual petition to show you what they said about GBV, or gender-based violence, as it relates to South Africa specifically. So Women for Change said in their petition, South Africa is in the midst of a GBV crisis where femicide rates are 5 times higher than the global average. Many women and children live in constant fear, and the scars of violence run deep. So yeah, some of these groups, Women for Change in South Africa, is like, look, our country's already dealing with these, like, with high rates of violence against women, like, and you trying to come over here to perform, it's just not given. It's just not given. Either way, Chris Brown apparently responded by going to Women for Change's Instagram account and leaving this comment. He said, can't wait to come. Basically, like, while y'all trying to prevent me from performing and stuff, I'm already booked and busy and it don't matter. Like, that's what he's saying essentially. And of course he's being snarky and nasty and shady, but that shouldn't be a surprise to anyone given like what we know about his personality. And also, I mean, look at how many likes that comment has, bro. Like, look at how many likes. People do not care. A lot of people do not care about victims at all. They're so obsessed, right, with nostalgia, with fame, with celebrity, with a cute little tune or something, with a song that you done heard 500 times already since you was in middle school, girl, that they will really overlook this man's violence. They will overlook so many other people's violence as long as it doesn't directly, I guess, affect them. And even sometimes, sure, As long, you know what I mean? So that's why when people complain that we are even bringing up this man's consistent history of violence in the first place, I don't know why people get mad. I don't know why they get mad. Like, it doesn't matter what we say, clearly, because this man still has so much support and he is still selling out venues. It doesn't matter if we talk about it. Clearly, y'all don't care. Switching back to Billboard, they said the fan demand for Brown's initial concert at the stadium was so overwhelming, tickets sold out in under 2 hours, that a second show was added at the 94,000 capacity stadium. So it's just like, every single time we bring up, and Chris Brown won't let us forget it. It's not like he had one incident or half an incident at like 15 years ago, and now he ain't never done anything like that ever again. He does not let us forget. What are y'all talking about? And so when we bring it up, it's not like we're actually affecting this man's bottom line. We definitely are not, because so many people are so obsessed with this light-skinned back flipper. Like, so, front flipper, back flipper, like they're so obsessed. So I don't get the anger when we're bringing up the handprints and fist prints that Chris Brown done left on people's beings, on their bodies. You know, I don't know why people are so mad, but clearly it doesn't matter because y'all going to see him selling out stadiums to watch this man do the same flip he been doing since 2010, bro. Get out my face. Get out my face. Chris Brown has faced issues for performing in the past due to his legal history in countries such as New Zealand, Canada, Australia, more. Girl, now South Africa, girl. The pair of South Africa shows are currently set for December 14 and 15. Now, a documentary surrounding Chris Brown's alleged history of abuse is coming to the Investigation Discovery Network later this month. Chris Brown, A History of Violence, will land on ID on October 27th as part of the network's No Excuse for Abuse campaign, which will further explore his legal issues. The documentary features an unidentified victim who is coming forward to tell her story of alleged abuse from Brown for the first time. Let's talk more about that documentary before we close the video out. Hollywood Reporter says this: how a troubled pop artist with such an infamous public record can maintain his superstar status and legions of fans is the subject of Investigation Discovery's documentary, Chris Brown, A History of Violence, which will launch on October 27th for their No Excuse for Abuse campaign. Like we said, the documentary from the TV network behind this year's bombshell Quiet on the Set documentary. Ooh, child, y'all got the Quiet on the Set people on Chris Brown stuff. Like, okay, Chris, you should be shaking. Quiet on the Set documentary will explore the iconic singer's years of alleged offstage aggression, including intimate partner violence, assault charges, and even sexual assault allegations. Chris Brown's an amazing and talented musician, as some people would like to say, but let's call a thing a thing. He's an abuser of women consistently, unapologetically. A woman in voiceover claims in a teaser trailer for the ID documentary, a new accuser whose identity is hidden is coming forward. Like we said, following the premiere, I guess they're going to host this conversation about intimate partner violence on The View. And it's like, girl, Chris Brown, you leaving all these comments on you know, these organizations, Instagram, Women for Change, Instagram, you leaving all these comments and snarky, shady remarks. Girl, they are about to have a whole entire documentary about you of exploring your legal issues. A new victim is coming forward, new unidentified victim is coming forward. And on top of that, after the documentary airs, they're going to host a whole entire conversation, a panel on The View, on a national... on a national, like people waking up to go to work type stuff to watch this conversation. They're going to host a conversation on The View about intimate partner violence, and you over here leaving comments on people's Instagram. You got bigger stuff to worry about, girl. We're going to be having a national conversation on The View about you, about your stuff. And you over here leaving Instagram comments. You got other stuff to worry about, bro. And a couple of them flips that leave you lightheaded ain't gonna save you this time. But like his comment displayed, like his comment on Instagram displays, like his, you know, attitude clearly displays, he don't care about none of this. If he ain't getting a direct consequence, which y'all, so many people are so scared to give this man, clearly scared to give men in the industry, period. He don't care about that stuff. The documentary on Chris Brown, whose narrative of abuse and assault allegations spans decades, promises to expose the impact of a cycle of abuse dating back to the pop star's childhood, with expert and cultural commentary layered throughout. The documentary provides thoughtful reflections into each survivor's experience and the psychological destruction in the aftermath of their abuse, and that is coming from the film's producers. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. It's just wild to me that, you know, he's over here leaving comments, trying to be snarky and shady and stuff, while we're about to have a whole conversation about, like, a whole panel discussion about abuse and intimate partner violence and stuff on The View because of him, like because of a documentary about him. Bro, you got other stuff to worry about. I'm so serious. I'm so serious. Anyway, on that note, thank y'all so much for watching. Make sure you check my description for my new song. Make sure you get your life, especially those of you who like dance hall and you tired of the homophobia in dance hall. Let's get into it. Love y'all so much. Check out my Patreon and I'll catch y'all later. Peace. Give me my things. I can take your money and you keep that ring. Give me my things. Give me my things. Boy, I want the money. I don't want no strings. No strings. No strings. No strings. No strings. No strings. No strings.